This is Kardec Radio bringing to you the book Among Brothers of Other Lands, written by several spirit authors and psychographed by Chico Xavier and Waldo Vieira. This partial audio recording will cover Chapter 6, By the Light of Truth, Chapter 7, Choosing the Representative, Chapter 8, Civilization and the Kingdom of God. Enjoy. Chapter 6, By the Light of Truth, by Emmanuel. But when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will guide you into all truth. He will not speak on his own. He will speak only what he hears, and he will tell you what is yet to come. Jesus, from John chapter 16, verse 13. In which way will Spiritism win the huge obstacles that loom on its way? There are companions who ask, should we dispute political projection or dominate earthly fortune? Meanwhile, others emphasize the illusory necessity of verbal war directed to groups or people. Concerning this subject, however, we transcribe question 799 of the Spirit's book. Prudent and clear, Kardec asked the spiritual mentors about his work in the following question: in what way can Spiritism contribute to progress? And in the usual logical way they answered the following: by destroying materialism, one of the sores of society, it enables people to comprehend where their true interests lie. Since the future life is no longer veiled by doubt, men and women will better understand that they can ensure their future through the present. Destroying the prejudices of sect, caste, and color, it teaches them the great solidarity that must unite them as brothers and sisters. Let us not illude ourselves in regard to our tasks. We are all called by the blessing of Christ to make light in the world of consciences, beginning within ourselves, thus dissipating the darkness of materialism in the light of the truth, not by the spirit of force, but by the strength of spirit, expressing itself in service, fraternity, understanding, and education. London, England, August 10th, 1965. Chapter 7, Choosing the Representative, by Hilario Silva. Thomas Forster, the main medium of the Spiritist institution in Washington, was a demanding veteran. He wanted to send a representative of the group to a certain event of doctrinal studies in Chicago. However, he did not want to send someone without thorough selection. I want a pure element, an absolutely pure and perfect Christian, if we can say so, said Thomas Forster, while pointing his finger as a conductor using his baton. But, replied Boland, Forster's closest fellow, you cannot ask for the impossible. Spiritists are men and women who make efforts towards their own moral improvement. Let us look for a person of simple habits without worries on sainthood. Forster grinned, but he would not give in. Maybe it is a demand of mine, but we will not send any one of the fellows I know. And in a rigid burst, even I myself don't feel that I am not up to the task. I take care of too many material businesses, and I therefore want that our Spiritist Center be represented by a complete Christian Spiritist, someone humble, knowledgeable, who loves the suffering people and is absolutely apart from all earthly illusions. Boland observed smilingly, that is way too hard. Where will we find this rare bird if we are too far from heaven? Forster remembered that during the last 4 Sunday meetings, while he gave talks on the gospel, he saw a man seated in the last row who seemed very sympathetic, although he had never met him. He usually dresses himself with simplicity without being relapsed. He had serene eyes and seemed to be very considerate and allusive to any idle conversation. After a brief comment, Forster concluded, he seems to be the ideal man. If he is a true Spiritist, as he seems in his attitude, he will be the appropriate representative. Forster and Boland agreed upon approaching that man at the next Sunday meeting. On the appointed day, the unknown attendant was there. While Forster gave his talk, Boland approached the man, asking him for a few minutes of his attention at the end of the meeting. At the end of Forster's lecture, the two friends approached the man. After the first question was thrown at him, the man calmly answered, "Yes, I am doing what I can to be a spiritist." Forster kept asking, and he continued replying, "Do you have an active worldly life?" "Who am I, my friend? I am continuous inner fight." "Do you devote yourself to those who suffer?" "My life is among those who weep." "Have you then chosen the path of Christian charity?" "Of course, my friend. Listening to afflictions and being with the ones in need of comfort is my common duty." "And do you help all in your notion of social service?" "I must serve all, rich and poor, fair and unfair, young and old. I cannot make any distinction." Enchanted with the man, the old Thomas still inquired, "Do you do all that spontaneously?" The unknown man smiled and emphasized, "Well, not exactly. If I could, I would party and have a break from so much suffering and tears." Then Forster got to know that the man used to be a grave digger who had worked in the former Fort Lincoln. Washington, D.C., USA, June 9, 1965. Chapter 8, Civilization and the Kingdom of God, by Emmanuel. Once Jesus was asked by the Pharisees when the kingdom of God would come. He answered them, "The kingdom of God is not coming with a visible display." From Luke, chapter 17, verse 20. Earth nowadays gathers peoples in the forefront of intelligence. Enormous cities are used by groups of millions of people as gigantic nests of cement and steel. Electric energy provides the circulation of the needed strength to the maintenance of work and domestic comfort. Science guarantees hygiene. Automobiles speed up time and shorten distances. Press and a radio television connect millions of people in one single moment in the same range of thought. School brightens the brain. Technique guides industry. Social institutes sponsor the issues of social security, and safety wisely managed business meets consumer with precision. However, are we before impeccable civilization? Before these resplendent emporiums of culture and material progress, let us remember the word of the instructors to Allan Kardec at the foundation of the codification of Spiritism. When Kardec asked them, "By what signs may one recognize a complete civilization?" and in question 793 of the Spirit's book, he received the following answer: "You will recognize it by its moral development. You believe yourselves to be very advanced, because you have made great discoveries and wonderful inventions, and because you are better situated and better clothed than primitives. However, you will only have the right to truly call yourselves civilized when you have finally banished the vices from your society that dishonor it, and when you finally live as brothers and sisters by practicing Christian charity. Until then, you are really no more than enlightened cultures that have only passed through the first phase of civilization. Spiritist brothers and sisters, let us remember Christ's warning when he said to us that the kingdom of God does not come with external appearances. In order to edify it, let us not forget that the Spiritist doctrine is a light in our hands. Therefore, let us meditate on this. Paris, France, August 19, 1965.